The Journey, Part 1. Dreams of Glory. Pedro Fernandes lived in the favelas of Rio de Janeiro, where life was a daily struggle. Despite the poverty and dangers of his neighborhood, Pedro had a dream: to play professional soccer for a top European club. Every day after school, he practiced with an old, tattered ball on a makeshift field, honing his skills and imagining himself on the world stage. Pedro's family barely scraped by. His mother, Maria, worked long hours as a maid, while his father, Carlos, was often away, working odd jobs. They supported Pedro's dream, but worried about the harsh realities he faced. One evening, after a particularly grueling day, Pedro's parents sat him down. "Pedro, we believe in you," Maria said, her voice full of love but tinged with concern. "But this path will not be easy. You must be prepared to face many challenges." Pedro nodded, determination in his eyes. "I understand, Man. I won't let you down." His only formal training came from Coach Luiz, a former professional player who had returned to the favelas to give back to his community. Luiz saw potential in Pedro and took him under his wing, offering free training sessions to help him develop his talent. Luiz's coaching was tough, but Pedro thrived under his guidance, improving his technique and understanding of the game. One day, after an intense practice session, Coach Luiz approached Pedro. "There's a scout coming to our next match. He's looking for young talent to join a youth academy in São Paulo. This could be your chance, Pedro." Pedro's heart raced. He had heard about the youth academy. It was a stepping stone for many young players who eventually made it to European clubs. The thought of leaving his family was daunting, but the opportunity was too good to pass up. The days leading up to the match were filled with a mix of excitement and anxiety. Pedro trained harder than ever, pushing himself to the limit. He knew this was his chance to prove himself, not just to the scout, but to his family and community. The day of the match arrived, and the atmosphere was electric. The stands were filled with locals cheering for their team, but Pedro's focus was on the lone figure standing at the edge of the field, the scout. The game began, and Pedro played with a passion and skill that left the crowd in awe. He scored 2 goals and assisted in another, showcasing his abilities and making a strong impression. After the match, the scout approached Coach Luiz. Pedro watched anxiously from a distance, trying to read their expressions. Finally, Coach Luiz called him over. "Pedro, this is Mr. Santos. He's very interested in you." Mr. Santos smiled and extended his hand. "Pedro, you have great potential. We'd like to offer you a place at our youth academy in São Paulo. It's a big commitment, but it could be the start of something extraordinary." Pedro shook Mr. Santos's hand, his mind racing with the possibilities. "Thank you, sir. I won't let you down." That night, Pedro shared the news with his family. Maria hugged him tightly, tears of pride and worry in her eyes. "We will miss you, my son, but we know this is your dream. Follow it with all your heart." Pedro packed his few belongings and prepared to leave for São Paulo. The journey ahead was filled with uncertainty, but his determination never wavered. He promised his family that he would make them proud and vowed to seize this opportunity with everything he had.